So I wanted to record a quick video. As always, I don't know if this is useful for anybody or not, but I know it's useful for me. And so, given what I'm trying to achieve, what I'm trying to put out into the world, I thought, yeah, it's a message that's worth putting out there. Because if it helps someone take the steps, perhaps towards finally getting fit, if it helps someone take the steps towards writing their first play, if it helps someone take the steps towards booking their first acting job, if it helps someone to open their own business or to get a job or whatever it is, then it's worth doing. And it's something that I take a lot of pride in. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about bars, and I don't mean pubs. Haha. I mean the bars that we put on ourselves. My oldest friend in the world always used to say this thing, and he'd come out with some crazy stuff a lot of the time. Occasionally, he'd come out with a real gem, and this was one of them. He'd say, "There are no bars on you. As long as what you do doesn't hurt anybody, there are no bars on you." And that's always resonated with me, but never more so than in the last 3 or 4 years. Because the biggest bar that we put on ourselves, and probably that we put on other people, is the bar that says you can't do that. Now, whether it's you can't do that or whether it's you can't do that, it's the biggest bar that exists, but it's a bar that is super easy to break. Because whenever you say to yourself, "Oh, you can't do that," and I see it every day, I see it in people closest to me. "You should try doing this." "Oh, I can't do that." "You should try doing this." "Oh, I can't do that." And I see it the other way around as well. "I'm going to try doing this." "Oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that." Bars, chains, locking you up. The way to get rid of this bar is very, very straightforward. You can't do this. Why not? Because of the wonderful things that he does. They're never going to give you an answer because there is no answer. And they separate, secondary to you. Because you're going to say to yourself more than anybody else in the world, "Oh, I can't do that." I'm going to give you some really examples now, really, really personal examples. Um, and I'm going to give you examples from somebody, me, who has achieved a hell of a lot in his life, and from somebody, me, who has failed a hell of a lot in his life. Okay. Um, I have never been the most successful man alive. I've never been the biggest failure alive, but I've achieved a lot of success and I've had a lot of failures. You're talking to somebody who once got on a plane and flew out to Louisville, Kentucky to begin his wrestling career, right? There was going to be a lifelong career, and I flew home 2 weeks later. I have failed a lot, right? But I've also succeeded a lot. And I believe that the reason that I have succeeded is because where I have said, "You can't do that," where I have told myself, "I can't do that," where other people have said to me, "You can't do that, you shouldn't do that, you mustn't do that," I have always said, "Why not?" Always. The big examples, are I am going to open a business at the same time as having a child, um, at the same time as trying to continue my writing career, at the same time as beginning my career as an acting teacher. You can't do that. People literally said to me, "You can't do that." People said to me with very good reason. People who love me, who care for me, said, "You shouldn't do that. It will drive you insane. You'll burn out." They were right. I said to myself, I probably can't do that. And then I said, why not? Why not? Has it been easy? No. Did I have major burnout? Yes. But I'm now about to go into my fourth year as a business owner. It's not all about this, but earning more money than I have ever earned in my entire life, being able to provide for my entire family, being able to pick and choose what I do time wise, having a team of four that I rely on that take off the time pressure from me. Having done a rehearsed reading this year of a brand new play that I've written, about to go into my third year at my old drama school as an acting teacher, and as, if I may say so, most importantly, a pretty goddamn good father to my daughter Evie. All because I said, why not? I've had conversations with people really close to me in the last 48 hours, feeling cornered in, feeling trapped. And I said this thing to a friend of mine who won't mind me saying this, but felt cornered in. And this is a cliche, this is cheesy, but when you feel cornered in, it's because you're looking in the wrong direction. Everything seems dark because you're looking at the corner. All you need to do is look a different way. And then you're no longer in a corner. But people say, oh, I can't do that. Can't do that is the corner. Can't do that will always be the corner. And so let me put it to you like this. If you are somebody who is 8 stone overweight, and you are basically being told, whether it's by your doctors or by yourself, I need to lose that 8 stone. Otherwise, essentially, at some stage in the future, it's going to kill me. 8 stone is a huge amount of weight, guys. I can't do that will come up. And those closest to you, and it's horrible to believe, but those closest to you will say, you can't do that. It's too much. Aim less, aim less. My response, and I've had people on the phone say this to me, I have 8 stone to lose, but I can't do that. I probably can't do that, can I? And they expect me to go, yeah, you're right. You probably can't do that. Let's pick a smaller goal. My response will always be, why not? Tell me why not. Because if you have a reason, I'll break it down. Oh, I failed before. Why? The reason you failed before is because you told yourself you couldn't do it. That's the reality of it. The second you start asking, why not, everything changes. If you want to be an actor, but nobody is casting you in anything, by the way, I've been there. I've been there. I was there for 3 years after leaving drama school. Once I finished the contract I had with the BBC radio company, I didn't work for 2 years. You might think, well, I can't be an actor anymore. And people closest to you might say, well, you can't act anymore. And you will certainly be telling yourself, I can't act. I'm not going to act. I can't do that. Why not? Why not write a play and put yourself in it? I can't do that. I've never written anything before. Why not? Why not get a job and put a certain percentage of your earnings every single month towards funding a short film that you write, direct, and star in? I can't possibly do that. Why not? Why not? If you have a business idea, it's too scary. I have a good job. I can't open a business. That's crazy. We're in a period of financial crisis. I can't open a business. Why not? I know it sounds arrogant, and I know I sound cocky saying this, but I'm no outlier. I'm certainly not a special case, right? I'm not, you know, I'm a guy who owns a business. I'm not the top of the top. I'm just a guy who owns a business. But the thing that I think I am most proud of about myself is that I don't limit myself. I don't put bars on myself. So, for example, in 2026, the next year, I have certain goals that I am looking at. One of them is to open a second gym. Now, people closest to me, people who mentor me, people who love me, people who advise me will say, well, that's a huge focus. That should be your only focus for the year. But that isn't my only focus for the year. I want to write another play. So that's another focus for me, right? People who know me know that I used to love wrestling. I mentioned it in this video. So I have another goal in my 40th year. I turn 40 next year. Before I turn 41, I want to have a professional wrestling match. But I don't just want to have a professional wrestling match. I want to document that match, turn it into a documentary about professional wrestling, something I've loved my entire life. But I don't just want to document it. I want to do this match for charity. And I want the match to actually be in front of people rather than just in front of 10 people. I want it to be in front of a decent sized crowd. I want to help my wife to launch a business that I incorporate with my own business. Look at all these goals. Oh, and by the way, I'd quite like to have a second child. Listen to all of that stuff and know that in my head right now, I'm saying I can't do that to all of that. But as soon as I say I can't do it, you know what I say? I say, why not? Because the reality is I can. And the reality is I will. Why not? You want to write a play? Write a play. You want to open a business? Open a business. You want to open a business and write a play? Do it. You want to open a business and have a child? Do it. There's no bars on you. You want to lose 8 stone? You can. You want to get fit for the first time, but you've never been in a gym before? You can. You want to run a marathon when you've never ever owned a pair of running shoes, yet alone been on a run? Why not?